There are two hurdles that often prevent us from hearing the stories of the Old Testament as they were actually meant to be heard. First, we tend to think that Israel emerged in a vacuum, fully formed and totally mature, nearly Christian in its thinking. There are other factors as well that go into making this assumption, such as ideas about the nature of Scripture that were forged in the 19th century, nearly only, I should say, 150 years ago. The overall effect of all of this is that we have a hard time seeing the Scripture against the cultural and the historical background of the people who actually wrote it, and perhaps even more importantly, the people who heard the words read to them for the very first time. Second, and partly because of some of these same factors, we tend to assume that the Bible is directly addressing our own concerns, as if it had just been written and just for us. We tend to spiritualize the text into addressing our questions and concerns without first asking a critical question, that is, what is the text itself really trying to address, trying to say to the people who heard it? Both of these hurdles will take some effort to overcome, for they are overlaid with centuries of interpretations, some of which have become battlegrounds for all sorts of theological disputations, and many of which have even become the basis for religious wars. In addition to the guidelines that we have expressed already and will continue to study during the course of our Old Testament course, we have to look at the biblical text in terms of, first, the cultural and the historical background of ancient Israel, especially as it shapes the concerns and affects the communications that were being made. And secondly, the concerns with which that biblical community is dealing in the text as seen against the cultural historical background, and how it is expressed in how the text itself tells the story to the hearers. Two further principles will also guide our analysis as we go forward. First, that the text is primarily theology, and it's telling us about God and humanity and the relationship between us and God. And fourthly, the text itself and its background are the primary object of analysis, with the guideline basically saying, stick to the text. It's intended to exclude other interpretations that are being imported from our systematic theology or any kind of doctrinal assertions that we might have. It's important for us to realize always that it's the text that we're studying, and it is the text that will teach us.